Pauline, Will, good morning.
Good morning.
That rumbling noise.
I can't say that I do.
Well, it's my laptop. Just, I guess it might be the fan or something.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, everyone. Morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Morning,
morning.
Jonica. Morning, Joe. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing
And
great.
Will?
Ken, Larry, good morning.
Morning.
Hey, morning, Will. Well, it is 10:30, but I guess we'll wait a minute or two. Still waiting on Ashley. And Joe, just so you know, we're getting some feedback on your mic. So maybe when you're not speaking, you can mute from our computer.
How do you cut it off?
Look at your screen up in the top right next to the lead
mic.
share mic. Yeah, if you tap the mic, it'll go to mute. Good morning, Doug.
Morning. How are you?
Good. Just wait a few minutes. Ashley will join shortly. We'll get this started.
Have we heard from Ashley this morning? We know whether she's going to be late. Did she indicate she was going to be a little late? Do we need to reach out to her?
I sent her a note. I
Okay.
think hopefully she'll be on here in 2 minutes. But at 10:35, I will call the meeting to order as vice chair. So I appreciate everyone's patience. Could be a little technology snafu. I've had that happen recently with Teams updating when you go to join a meeting. So
Well, we were on the phone with her yesterday, so we know she knows about the meeting.
oh yes. Okay, well, it is 10:35, and I want to be respectful of everyone's time on today's call. Appreciate the flexibility and the ability to move this meeting into a virtual setting. Obviously, it appeared we would have difficulty with a quorum, and so this was a nice option to have, and I figure we'll go ahead and get this kicked off. Looking at the agenda that was circulated this morning, I want to go ahead and get the approval of the meeting minutes, but prior to doing that, I just want to make sure it looks like everybody, looks like most of the names I recognize. Vince, thanks for joining. Michael Davis is not, just want to say good morning to you as well. I'm not sure if you want to introduce yourself, sir. Maybe, does he have permission to say, like, introduce himself, Jonica? If he wants.
I believe so. I'm double checking right now.
Okay.
He's currently on mute.
Yeah, but just wanted to welcome him. Here comes Ashley. All part of the plan here.
Vince, is Ryan going to join?
Okay, all my apologies.
No worries,
Right.
Ashley. We're just getting
I'm
started.
downfall on Ryan. He's probably been at the governor's budget talk.
Okay. Oops.
Well, welcome, Ashley. I just called the meeting to order and was going around Robin, just doing some quick basic introductions. So,
Beautiful.
Madam
Thank you
Chair,
for-
I will hand it to you. It's wonderful to
Oh.
see you.
Well, thank you. You can keep doing some introductions as I try to get all the stuff up on my screen as it needs to be.
No worries.
Yeah.
Well, Jonica, thank you again for circulating the minutes and the agenda this morning. Hopefully you all have had a minute or two to review that. If I would like to get an approval of those minutes. But again, please help me, I would defer to staff here. It appears we do have a quorum, but are we able to, Kathy, you had a question. Go ahead, Kathy.
No, you can go ahead. I was just
Well,
gonna
I was going to ask, can we even like really approve these minutes in this format, or do we have to hold these off to our next in-person meeting in the
Nope,
new
you
year?
you can vote to approve them. You got a quorum.
Okay. Kathy, what
Excellent.
was your question?
It was not, it was a motion to approve.
Ah, very nice.
Beautiful.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Show raise the
Aye.
hands. Good. All right. Excellent. Okay. Thank you very much. Any opposed? All right, they are passed. And Jonica, again, thank you for doing those. Okay, I have everything up in front of me now. So, Chris, did you kind of, I guess because you just mentioned this, I'll jump a little bit out of order, but so, sorry for the confusion with the meeting, but one of the things we're learning in the whole process along the way here is, we switched to virtual, so we have to have at least 5 people in the room. And so that is, if we don't have that, then we can't make any decisions. Like we couldn't have approved the minutes. But because we're doing it virtually and we can't do 2 back-to-back virtuals, so I'm getting the processes down so I can try to, guide. But thank you to Ken and Jonica yesterday. We tried to sort everything out, but I know this saved everybody time, except for then everybody puts back-to-back meetings when you don't have your time blocked off for travel. So anyway, but so there's that. So okay, so I think next on our agenda, are there any questions about that? Doug, I know we were hoping to get to meet you in person. Joe, you're more than, remind me where you're located.
I'm sorry?
Where are you located? Where do you live?
Woodbridge, Virginia.
Okay, so you and Doug are up in the same neck of the woods. So
Correct.
there is that caveat in there that anyone that's, you can go ahead and mute again. Once it's 60 miles more, you can participate virtually. That's when we approve people to be able to do it. So I know Kathy's got her son recuperating from surgery, and so that is a one-off kind of a thing. But anytime the meeting is consistently more than 60 miles away from where you live, then you're allowed to participate virtually. Hey, Joe, can you go ahead and mute your, because it's getting some feedback. Thanks. So we'll go through that. We have openings on this. I know, again, I'm jumping around. We have openings on the authority. I know that another announcement is coming, and I know we'll be pleased when I think everyone will be pleased when they hear who it is. She reached out to me. We had a nice chat, and so I think that'll be good. But we've got to get some of these other vacancies done as well. Because like Brian's not here today. We need to be able to know we have 5 people participating to make sure we can act every single time. And so it's worthwhile to have a full group. So, and Chris and I spoke yesterday, and one of the things we're trying to figure out, we need to read through the code again. We need to get rid of the space part of it as far as the it's not Wallops, but what is that group that I'm thinking of that is supposed to have a set spot?
Virginia
Space
Space
Flight
Flight
Authority.
Authority.
Yes, them. So that is, we need to go, and this is, I think, a good time to do that. But I'm again jumping on the agenda. I am comfortable reaching out to Michael Fagans to see if that is something he is interested in doing. But I'll take some advice, Vince or Ken or Jonica, if we decide as a group, is that appropriate for us to go and find someone to go and take the lead for us to go and have some of that code change? Because we've talked about this multiple times. Will's nodding his head, so I know this isn't something we haven't talked about. But I think Michael Fagans is the right person to do that for us. Is there anybody that would disagree with that? Okay, thanks, Doug. I see your head there. Okay. All right, well, let's go ahead and review the annual report. Jonica, do you want to go ahead and put it up for share it for the group? Everybody got it. So hopefully this is going to be just fine. We've gone over this before. I think this is just we are overdue to get this to them. So we just want to make sure we ask the staff to clean this up for us. So it was, as you see on the very first page, it was due on the 15th, is when it needed to be done, but we didn't have our November meeting. So you just got this. So I hate to say that, Jonica, do you or Ken, do you want to go and point out things that we've updated, or how would you guys like to do this? Because I'm looking at it basically for the first time this morning as well.
Yes, so I think we went over this in the last meeting. I did update this quite some time back. So I'm trying to, I think most of the things that were updated were some technicalities like names. And I
Yes.
think I read Will's comment this morning sharing we need to remove, I think, CVOW East in this. And Will, you can correct me in this because I didn't get a chance to go through the email properly, but I'll go over it and update that. And some of the recommendation part where a few sections were added, for example, research, development, and innovation opportunities. I think
Right.
this was something that we discussed and added in the previous meeting. Then I think this was something that was shared by the group and us to add. Continue to evaluate federal developments and legislation's impact on current or future projects. So yeah, a couple of those things, and then we did not touch any of the mission statements or VOWDA activities. We discussed a little bit of the meeting notes, but I think that's coming from all the notes that were being shared in all of the meetings.
Did you
Actually,
increase the font size, Jonica?
Or yeah,
Yes,
just let's
of course.
display. You're not at 100%. Yeah. Actually, as you're doing that, I found my notes from the last meeting. So in recommendation 1, we did take out where we had where we put CVOW South to remove the Kitty Hawk North portion of it. All the Kitty Hawk, everything off of grid is out basically. And then we had gone to the current added in that last line to recommendation 1, currently all of the above strategy.
Yes.
Yep.
So I
and-
need to
yeah.
remove this.
Yeah, so let me clarify this comment. Yeah, you could, that fixes it because it talked about CVOW East, but then went on to a redundant explanation of the 176,000 acre site. So killing that, and then in recommendation 6, which isn't really a recommendation, it looks like a typo because that whole line seems to need to come out with the impact of federal actions because it doesn't have anything there. That is right above the blurb. Now leave the blurb because that's the blurb that says we submit it. It's just that header. If I'm reading this
Okay.
right, it looks like it's just an error.
Okay, so this needs to be an impact of federal actions.
No,
what is
the
the
whole
heading?
thing needs to go out
Okay,
because we didn't write anything about impact of federal actions. So
Number 6 is, yeah.
okay. So this section
On the
doesn't have a
manual.
header.
There is no
No.
recommendation 6.
that blurb just says we're supposed to submit it. So yes, that stays.
Yep. Right. Back under recommendation 3, I had written down that we were going to do in the line where it says wind research, that we were adding development and innovation there. Oh, no, I'm sorry, my arrow is the wrong. We added at the top, the first line, we added the development and innovation. Sorry, my bad.
I'm sorry, for some reason, my laptop decided not to get charged this morning, and I'm trying my best to get it up again. So I've joined via my phone right now, but I'm logging back in with the laptop.
Okay. Oh, so you can't
But
scroll or anything.
yes, I cannot share my screen right now for a few minutes, I
All
think.
right. See if I can share mine. But I'd rather Jonica do it just because then any corrections she can do and we can see it. If you're looking at your own, in recommendation 4, the part that we added on there from the last meeting was additionally to evaluate federal development impacts of current and future offshore wind projects. So that additionally is the line we added in that to that one. And mission and
Ashley, can I ask,
Yes.
as far as recommendation 1, why we eliminated CVOW East? Isn't that the new area that Dominion picked up from the Central Atlantic lease?
yes, it is. It will. We'll go ahead.
We're not eliminating it. We eliminated the fact that we explained it twice. So we removed just the word CVOW East, because then it goes on to explain what CVOW East is.
So CVOW East is the and future projects, including the 176,500 acre lease east of the current CVOW East project. So it was redundant. Does that make sense, Elaine? Eileen? My bad. And as I look through the rest of the report with our notes that needed to be done, most of it was like Scribner notes in regard to changing dates and that. It's really the recommendations was where most of our changes were.
Doug, do you have a comment or a question?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
I'm kind of jumping into a role that I like to play as devil's advocate, but I know it's a little bit late in the game. But as you think about where this group is and where it's headed in the next couple of years, we have a phenomenal success that all these years of work have accomplished.
Mhm.
And the mind wonders, well, what are we going to do for an encore? And how do we protect the work going forward from political interference? And you can interpret that any way you want to. But I'll just throw out the idea. It may shock or startle some people, but what about renaming the legislation or even the group's name, broadening it out to the Virginia Maritime Development Authority? The offshore wind would be subsumed under that, because are we really going to have more offshore wind development, or should we continue this as part of a broader picture of it changes the mission, of course, but of the development of what we've already started. What's already moving is the maritime industry writ large. And it's just to spark some discussion, really. I'm not really strongly advocating this, but I'm trying to think about the next 2 or 3 years down the road. And would it really, have we reached a point of inflection that we need to think about kind of a turn in the road a little bit to protect what we're doing, whatever may come down the road, but looking at the much bigger picture economically and socially down there in the Southeast?
Absolutely. And I think that's when, especially with the new administration, I think that we'll have a clearer where offshore wind fits in to that so that we can do that exactly.
Well, to be clear, I don't think we're talking about renaming the institution. And I mean, I know that's Doug, that's what you were saying, but as you're probably aware, we do have a Virginia Port Authority, which Chris works for. We also have the century-old Virginia Maritime Association, which I work for. So there are a lot of entities that are already doing maritime development at the state, federal, and local level. And I do think that there's still offshore wind work to be done. So I think we're okay for the next 3 to 5 years, but that's just my one opinion.
Sorry, I'm in a room with a motion sensor.
This is Vince. I will say, for this meeting, we definitely need to focus on finalizing this annual
Exactly.
report. I think that's
Right.
the primary point of this meeting.
Right.
With future,
Exactly.
considerations for changes we can talk about later.
And that's exactly where we're going. But thank you, Will, for clarifying for Doug, just to bring him up to speed. I think because we're, I'm jumping again, but because we're going to have new members on, I think a good orientation in the January, February meeting will be important as we have new folks come on board. And that'll give us a chance to review all those type of things. So, okay. So,
But to Doug's
Eileen?
point, though, I think it is good, if somehow or another we can keep it in our thoughts, next year as we're working, just, having, some interactions, some relationships with the maritime industry with, just to let them know where offshore wind is, and then also, have them update us on maritime as
and-
well.
I'm going to try to bring us back to the annual report, and then we can talk about that a little bit later. But I mean, there is an offshore wind committee. There's plenty of the other things in there. So what I want to do real quickly is make sure, I'm going to get us back on track for this. And I'm laughing because I keep trying to scroll on my one screen, but that's Jonica's job. So we've hit these few changes. And so we're recommendation 6 needed to be knocked out in regard to, and we've hit all the other changes. So the question I have is there any reason we are not ready? Anyone on here has concerns is going ahead and submitting this to the General Assembly?
Just clarifying, I didn't miss anything in between while I
Nope, you
was
did
trying
not.
to get my laptop. Okay, thank you.
Nope.
Those were the only 2 comments I had. So
Yep.
Unless
catch,
anybody
Will.
else has any other comments or edits, I'm good.
Kathy, do you have any?
I don't. I was just wondering if there was a marked up draft from the previous meeting that,
Yeah,
That
I have
other
mine
thing-
from my notes, and that's what I compared to.
okay.
Yeah.
That, I'm just wondering why it wasn't completed by
Yep.
now.
Well,
So-
it is now, so there we go, because we didn't meet in November. So, and Jonica had a long holiday because she got married in India.
Hey,
So
congrats.
there you go. Yeah. So, okay.
I'll
All right.
motion to
you.
accept it and submit.
Second,
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Will. All those in favor, raise your hand so I can see you, or raise your hand with the little voting thingy, your little reaction. Okay. Is there anyone
Yeah.
opposed? Gonna lower my hand so I don't. All
And
right.
Just a point of clarity, that's the version as amended by Jonica
Yes.
today.
As amended.
Correct. As amended. Thank you, Vince. Okay. Oh, the only thing I didn't check at the end, make sure if you want to scroll, yes, okay. So I'm glad that we left because Howard was part of it. I'm glad we added his ending dates in there. Okay, that's good. And then you added Doug. Okay, good. Okay, that's great. All right, let's go on to the next part of the agenda, which I think is probably where we can get a little bit more into where we go next. So,
Actually, I have a quick question. How many
Sure.
appointments do we have outstanding?
I think we have at least 3.
Okay.
I
And
think.
who do we have left
I
that's
think it's
on
2.
that's just in a continuing
Is it just
role?
2?
2.
It's just 2, I think, because it would be the seat currently held by Eileen, and then
Yeah.
the seat that's currently vacant by the Virginia Spaceflight Authority.
Okay, I thought we were down to 2. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Eileen's the I'm continued and waiting
Uh-huh.
on my appointment. Okay, gotcha. They've been a
Okay.
little slow coming, but administrations start losing people, things, get a little slower coming out. So
Yep.
but the Space Authority seat can't be filled unless it's by
No.
a Space Authority person. And we're
and they've
hoping,
declined, so
Eight.
it may go unfilled.
so we're hoping
And
that
that's where, yeah, so that's the question is that's where I started mentioning in regard to what we can do to go ahead and get that changed. If we can go and reach out to, because it would be an easy one. I can't imagine, that would be a simple one for them to go, and I can't imagine anybody having a problem with it in the General
Yeah.
Assembly in regard to just passing.
Yeah,
That's a quickie.
they don't want to be on this. Can you please don't make them be on this?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And I know that the reason why Michael had done some, Delegate Fegans had done House Bill 1616 last year. And so we had noted that, so that's a good chance to, if he's going to be doing anything with the Virginia Clean Economy Act and that kind of thing, where that would be, it just makes sense that he would go ahead and take that one on as well. So do we have any guidance from what you're all, I know I've jumped again, but have we got any guidance from you all in regard to what you would want to just make it an at-large? We don't want it to be specific. I mean, that's really the gist of it. We don't want it to be to a specific occupation, department, or agency.
We're talking about all of the code changes that we discussed last meeting, correct?
We're talking specifically about the one that's requires someone from the space. I'm looking for the code.
There were a couple of changes we were wanting to see in the code.
Yes, you're not wrong. Right, let's just focus on the one we're talking about right now because we're talking about vacancies. So I know we went through last time and we were waiting to see what the administration, how it turned out as far as that goes. So I don't know if we have that up, but it's in code. The useful ongoing success. It's NASA Wallops Island Flight Facility. So it's in B, under Article 2B. And that is where it talks about NASA Wallops Island, or no, that's not the representative.
It's in our section under energy and offshore wind. That's where it lists them by name.
What's the article, Kathy?
I don't have it in front of me, but Jonica, you should have that section of code. I can look it up real quick, but you guys should have that.
Yep.
Isn't it on our agenda to talk about all the code changes we will be requesting?
I was not mentioned that in our call with Ashley yesterday, so I've not included in the agenda, but I'm not sure if that you would like, if any of or all of you would like to have that.
Well, we're already kind of late to the game, getting code changes sponsored and getting it through the legislation writers to write. Mm-hmm. So that should be a primary discussion item today. And we can put this in other items if you want, but we need to.
There is no budget impact of this as far as it goes, and it's till the 23rd that bills have to be submitted. So we're late to the game a bit, but that doesn't mean that we can't do this. So it's fine. And my apologies because this is part of the legislation, the General Assembly legislation so far. But we didn't have it listed specifically other than I wanted to chat about being able to actually fill all of this, have all of our positions filled.
Actually, if they want to discuss that as a group, Larry can weigh in too, but would it be just a vote to add it to the agenda?
I make a motion to add the amendments to the agenda.
To the code.
I'm trying to remember all my rules of order for different organizations I've been with.
You're fine. It is talking about that, but yeah, we can amend the agenda to, that's not a problem. So Will, that's great. I don't like doing virtual meetings.
Second.
I was on the town council for a couple of terms, so I'm always thinking about rules of order and making sure we don't get something wrong. So, all right, thanks.
You're absolutely right. Okay, so we can now discuss it. There you go. Jonica, can you find, I want to talk specifically just about who is on VOWDA and the requirements of where they come from. Can you please pull that up to share for the group?
It's 45.2 dash, like the 1800s is where it starts.
Or confidentiality.
Yeah, the only requirement is that they're a citizen of Virginia, that they physically live in Virginia.
Yes, that's what I recall. I'm trying to look it up.
It's under
Sorry, I have something else open.
40, yeah, it's 45.2-1800. You start there. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, this is, guess I need to go back to the code.
It's like 40, it's 1805 membership terms and vacancies in the very first paragraph. It mentions what, that's where it there, Commercial Space Flight Authority as like an exclusive to Virginia.
Thank you for finding it. I have a printed version here and I'm just not catching it quick enough.
Yes,
You
it
said
says authority shall be
1805? Okay,
composed
membership
of
vacancy. There we
nine.
go.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So there is one that's supposed to be here nominated, what we suggested there. 9 legislative citizen members appointed by the governor, recommended delete in addition of 1 ex officio member without having voting privileges shall be selected by the governor after consideration of the persons nominated by the U.S. Secretary of the Navy. That is what we wanted to, that is the one we want to
That's
have
one of them.
removed.
That's
Yes.
one of them.
And then there's also, we had deleted 1 of whom shall be representative of the Virginia Commercial Space Flight Authority. So
Yeah.
that's why I thought we had more, Vince. That's why I thought we had 3 vacancies, because
Yeah.
we've got 1 from the Navy and 1 from the commercial space.
Okay. Yeah, I've forgotten that too. So you could get rid of, so you're saying get rid of all that. Basically, authority shall be composed of, are you saying 11? Are you saying?
We've already written that, we've already inserted the wording that we
Yes.
requested. It should be in a draft markup.
Gotcha.
That was the
I
last
have it.
we went through all of this.
Yes, we
Gotcha.
did. We did. And I've got my notes after we reviewed it in September. There we go, Jonica. That's it, with all the blues and the yellows. So
Yeah, I remember the multicolored now.
So, yeah.
So you're really, want to finalize this and then
exactly.
look for your sponsor.
Mm-hmm. That's what I feel like and there are other things we'll go back to. Because we started talking about it, I'd like to finish one conversation at a time. So
yeah, perfect.
Just very specifically. So what we said here was to delete the one of whom shall be a representative of the Virginia Commonwealth Space Flight, and with the exception, and then also the person named by the U.S. Secretary of the Navy. So the yellow, in making appointments, the governor shall endeavor to select appointees of such qualifications and experience that will allow them to develop reasonable and effective policy recommendations related to the purpose of the authority. All members of the authority, so is changing it to all members of the authority shall be citizens of the Commonwealth. So that one is especially one we want to, if we can't come to consensus on anything else, I'm hoping that's the one that we can go forward with. Is everybody in agreement for the 1805, that these changes?
Doug, do you have
May
a
I
question or
ask a
comment?
question?
We're in agreement before.
Doug, yes, I'm sorry.
May I ask a question? So,
Yes, Doug.
do we now have any specific slots, specifically designated slots, or is it all kind of a whatever the governor wants? Is that where
Correct.
we
There
are?
would be this would eliminate any designated spots.
Okay.
There is no requirement the Port Authority has, or the Maritime, or anything else. And we changed the language last time, just that it would have such qualifications and experience, allowing them to develop reasonable and effective policy recommendations.
And this would be legislation that would have to pass, so.
Yeah, exactly. So we just need to get someone to pick it up. Exactly.
Yeah. So, but it would be the next governor that would be actually making a non-Navy or non-spaceport appointment.
Correct.
If Governor Youngkin was to make this appointment, he'd be required to appoint somebody. If he wanted to do it within his term,
exactly.
He'd be required.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
and I just, even if let's say Youngkin fills the other spots, before he leaves office. That means that any vacancies that go out, we'd have more availability. So if he found someone in the Navy, sorry, just had to stand up. If he found someone in the Navy, but he's not going to, and if he found someone from the space, he's not going to. So these two are going to be left. That would allow us, after it was passed, by June, we should be able to go, or July, we should be able, when it's in effect, then we can know, the new governor could appoint folks. I think I'm right on that, Will, and and Vince, does that seem right?
Sounds right to me.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So whatever vacancies there are, we will always notify, and the administration, whoever it is, that they're available for appointment.
Yep. Okay.
So for
Alrighty
changes to
then.
the code, if I can
So-
enter,
Yeah, Kathy, I'm sorry, you're cutting in and out. Go ahead and try.
oh, sorry. So for the changes to the code, we have to do two things. We have to find a sponsor on each side. We also have to get it to the director of legislative services to actually write the bill itself.
Right.
That's what's key, is getting it written, and at the same time finding those sponsors for to carry it.
Yes.
So we've
But
already, as an authority, at the last meeting, made these changes and have voted to approve all the changes in this document. I don't think there's a need to vote
To
or
rehash it.
anymore. It is really, who are we going to reach out to for sponsors? And we need to get it to the contact I know at the is our amigo Wade, unless somebody knows anybody else, is to make contact with amigo Wade at the Director of Legislative Services to give him a good understanding of what we're looking for, all of our markups here, so he or his staff can write it into a bill.
Ken
And Jonica, you'll want to keep a marked up version too, what was
Yeah.
changed, so it'd be easy for them
Okay.
to do.
Do you want me to? Okay, I'll just save a copy of this and then
Mhm.
Yeah,
start
you
making
should.
changes.
Larry, is that the best practice? Just keep a marked up version with all the changes.
Yes, you want to know what you've done.
Yeah.
And Kathy, going back to the minutes, we didn't actually approve these. We discussed them.
I believe so.
Yeah, we just discussed all of them in our minutes. It doesn't, it's a discussion concluded with a decision on the board to pick a senator after the elections who would sponsor VOWDA edits to the next General Assembly. So we didn't actually go through, and we did not approve these. We just discussed them.
But now that it's on the agenda, you could today.
Exactly.
But if the next step was to find someone to carry it, it really was.
Exactly. But we need to confirm that everybody's good with all of these changes because we didn't vote on it at the last meeting. We just talked about them. Because we also knew because we didn't know who was going to get the governorship. And so that was going to make a difference in what we wanted to put forward. Does that make sense? So do they feel good about what we discussed at the September meeting?
Yes.
Is there anyone who has concerns and hasn't had a chance to go through these? The main changes were about the voting or the membership. We had in the purpose, we had some changes that way. We decided in 1804, there was no policy, can make policy, no change needed. In B, thank you, Jonica. And can you make it a little bit bigger for us?
Yeah, John,
There
over
we go.
50, we need it a little bit bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't know what kind of screen you're here on.
Exactly.
That's
we can just
that's
kinda
beautiful for my old eyes right there. I can
Exactly.
see it.
So,
In 1804, we decided that we didn't need the change, is what I wrote down. Can make the policy, no change needed.
so I get rid of this whole section. This is all I have. I believe this was a recommendation from
That was
one
a
of the
recommendation from Kathy. That was from that recommendation came from Kathy. And
Yeah, so
I have written in my notes from last time, as a political subdivision of the Commonwealth, yes, we can make policy because it's political, so it's policy. No change needed in this one.
Okay, I will just remove the comment.
But I want everyone to be in agreement on this.
Yeah, we discussed that, and I don't know if there's any more to A that is
Yeah.
just not there. I don't
Yeah,
think there
so-
is.
I don't think, no, that was
Okay.
all, no, there isn't anymore. So we can delete all the yellow.
Yeah, yellow are just comments,
Yes, exactly. Okay, in
not
B,
text.
thank you. In B, the blue was collecting, oh, I'll let you get, I can't, there we go. We added in the and relevant data as such. And then the yellow is just comment, but yes, and then BOEM areas, we did leave, I think we left that in there. Once evidence driven insights gained from the projects. Oh, no, no, we can, that's, I've got written down planning, development, construction, operations. Do we add that in somewhere, ensuring the development and such projects in parallel? So I think the yellow again can go away. We added the such data as, so that, there we go. That's the change. Uh-huh.
Do we need to explain terms like Met Ocean for legislators?
No, let them Google it.
Actually, isn't it Meta Ocean? I think. Are we missing? Did that get? Let me look.
It's Met, meteorological.
Okay. I don't know why I thought it was
I'm getting rid of the yellow part, just letting
Yeah.
everyone know.
Yep. Yep. No, you can leave, yeah, just the yellow. Okay. Go ahead and scroll up.
Accept these changes.
As long, I just want to make sure you had a marked up copy so you knew where the changes came for you to explain.
Right,
Okay,
I did
yeah.
just save it.
Okay. And then the next one is all the way back to what we already discussed, I believe, in about the who's the wall or the US Navy and the space flight. There it is, 1805. That yellow, it actually should be that's the new change.
Just going back to 1804, I think we
Oh,
added
sorry.
this C section.
Oh, you're right. My bad. It's all blue in here. Yes.
So yeah, just making sure this is accepted by everyone. And
Authority shall cooperate. I have a lot more there than what is showing. Does anybody else have their notes from last meeting? The division shall, because I have like 4 things: identify specific measures that will facilitate, coordinate.
I believe we went back and forth and then decided to remove all of it because there's like 5 points and
Okay.
We were left with A and B ultimately,
Okay.
but we decided that it did not make sense. We had to remove B and it did not make sense to just have A. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah,
from my
C,
memory from the
initial,
last
the version I'm looking at, C had numbers 1 through 5 after it, but we combined them all, I think.
Yes, just going back to
Thank you.
another version, I think. This is 1804.
Mhm.
See.
Oh, no, that one doesn't have it either. Okay. Obviously, we opted not to put all of that. So let's just read what the
current one says.
Yes. I just didn't make a note of it. That's on me. The division shall there was Did we eliminate that one altogether then? There was one that said the authority shall advise the Division of Offshore Wind in all its activities, including the division's work related to its powers and duties to include. So we eliminated that one and that became, yes, that's what's happened. Okay. My apologies, guys. I just didn't exit out on the version we were looking at. Okay, we're fine. We've already
Ashley,
made the change.
may I ask a question?
Yeah, Doug. So I don't
on-
see hands, just shout out. I'm
Oh,
looking at,
okay.
I'm looking
So
at a notebook at the
I'm-
screen and I'm not watching hands go up.
I'm trying to be formal in the rules here, but
I
the
appreciate
scrolling and the color changes it's kind of hard to keep track of it all. It's
Yeah.
like a kaleidoscope. But
Mhm.
on the previous section where we're talking about things that we're going to focus on, the policy issues,
Uh-huh.
just a thought for the committee to consider. I'm also on the Virginia cleaning up the bay stuff, you know, the stakeholders advisory committee for the new Chesapeake Bay agreement.
Right.
And given that we have a new 15-year agreement that the governor and other governors, et cetera, just put into place a week or so ago, do we want to make a mention about things that in terms of the effort of cleaning up the bay, that we're going to keep that in mind? Not that that's a primary duty, but you know it's such an important thing for Virginia and other states in the watershed. Because it has come up in some of my other committee meetings about offshore wind.
So
And
look
so
in D here.
we
Without
might
getting
want to have some
specific,
kind of linkage there.
well, we'd have to do it to everything. I mean, so, but I think in D, the authority shall, in cooperation with relevant state and federal agencies as necessary, recommend ways to encourage and expedite, blah, 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 blah. The authority shall also consult with research institutions, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and stakeholders, as we seem. So I think that allows us to talk to okay.
I was
Donna.
actually referring to
Yeah.
the just up the page a little bit, just
Oh, I'm
ahead of the
sorry.
top. Yeah, right there, that blue stuff.
Yes.
So it sort of gets into the things that my other hat, you know, that other group that I'm on thinks about, but
Uh-huh.
I just thought it would be because it's on the top of everybody's mind. Right now, I'm not coming up with specific wording, but I'm throwing out the idea because
But
obviously,
would the very
you know,
end of this with marine species and habitats not include the Chesapeake Bay? Well,
it would. That's why I'm saying that it
Yeah.
does get into that, but I didn't know if you wanted to make a specific reference to the linkages between our effort and the Chesapeake Bay cleanup. That's all.
I think not. I think it's better to leave it not specific
Okay.
because it leaves it open-ended because then it's not, it doesn't tell us we have to, that's my suggestion. It's up for discussion. My thinking is keep it simple. Will?
Yeah, and I would say, Doug, just for your clarification or for knowledge, is in the past we've had these type of discussions, and as soon as we start naming individual entities, all of a sudden it becomes a massive Me Too type discussion where everybody wants to put a specific entity being added, and those items just don't necessarily true up with what the intent of this authority is. So my recommendation that it just as vague with how we've laid out things for impacts to avian and marine species and habitats.
Well,
No.
just to clarify, I wasn't saying to add all the ecosystem, the incredible number of organizations in the Chesapeake
Right.
Bay cleanup, but it's the topic of the new Chesapeake Bay Agreement, which has actually been signed and is now in practice. So it wasn't the name organizations, it was the name
Okay.
the topic.
I think if we can leave it, we don't say compatible with other ocean uses, marine resources. I feel like it's in shipping lanes, recreational, commercial, the habitats. I feel like that takes care of everything and we as a group can hit it. So I feel like it's there. I don't think we should need to add anything additionally.
Agreed.
Okay.
How about
But
just
that doesn't
adding the
mean
word, adding the word habitat?
it is at the end.
It's already in there.
Look at the screen. It's the very last word that's showing in the blue.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. That's
And
okay.
to be,
No, I'm just
to be
pointing
really
out, didn't
clear,
mean to-
there's no offshore wind development in the Chesapeake Bay. I mean, it's all offshore. So, I mean, I'm always concerned with this group getting sidetracked.
The benefits, the Bay benefits because it's renewable energy, ultimately. Okay, all right, let's scroll up. And here we thought we didn't have much. We thought it'd be a 20-minute meeting. Okay, we've already done, we know we have to do quarterly updates. That's just because we eliminated one, it just shifted. There's the appointment one, okay? We've already talked about that. Everybody was in agreement with that. We finished the one topic a bit ago. Scroll on up.
Just
Oh, what, Jonica?
going over the chat, I think Kathy has made a comment on the code language. So bring that up.
Well, only because there was a message in there about if you would just want quarterly meetings for flexibility. We already have that. The language in the code doesn't call for quarterly meetings. It's very flexible.
Honey, I don't think we changed that. It shifted because we eliminated B, the number,
Okay. I just
the
remember
letter of
Glenn
B.
talking about it in the last meeting, in that meeting where we made a lot of these changes, just making sure y'all address that. That's good.
Okay, so we're good?
Yeah, and that's not from that same, this is from membership. The code language about meetings is in membership, not in,
I see. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So this is good to accept.
Yes. Oh, now I'm catching it. Okay. It's in C here that it talks about quarterly. Yeah.
That's, no, we're making that addition. The current language is the meetings of the authority shall be held on the call of the chairman or whenever
Yes.
a majority of the members
No.
are. Okay.
No, I'm pointing out that yes, it's
Oh,
now
got it.
there.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Again, hate virtual meetings. It's so much better in person. Okay. I think that's it. And then down below in D, we changed it to shall. That is a budget impact, I guess. And then I didn't have any other, down in section 45.2, 1807, we had talked about putting in the deputy director, but we decided we did not need to do it. I have an X through that.
Do I
Yep.
get rid of it?
Say that again.
Can I get rid of this then?
Yes, I believe so. Is anyone opposed to that? I had noted that we were removing that. Okay, having hearing no.
I mean,
All right.
the only comment I'd make, just,
Yeah.
it's gonna sound crazy, but the next administration may want that capability. It's possible.
For the deputy director? Is that what you're saying, Will?
Yes.
Larry has his hand up.
Larry?
Well, just to make the point that the next administration will have that authority anyway, because you may recall we did have a deputy director who was focused on offshore wind, Jennifer Palestrand, at the second half of the Northam administration. And I'll also point out she was located in Richmond. So it's also possible to locate that position elsewhere.
So this would be codifying it. It was my recommendation to codify it. So anybody can add a position, but this would be codifying that position.
Well, one of the things I talked about having it in there was so that you had somebody that was basically where the staff or things were going on so that they could be helping to do things to help promote VOWDA and do different things, which is not being done now.
Okay, good. Stay there. Don't.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just.
This is Vince. I will know that sometimes having the director in Richmond as just as impactful when you're trying to get things accomplished or approved.
So this would be not.
Joe, can you hang on a second, Kathy? Joe, can you mute again? We're getting feedback from you. Thanks. Okay, go ahead, Kathy.
So this would be adding a position and making that position, and Joe's, so I advocated for adding the position. Joe
Right.
is advocating for locating that position. So you would, it's not, the director would very likely still be in Richmond, and this deputy director would be recommended to be in Hampton Roads.
Here's the thing is, even though Jennifer, she was not specifically noted as offshore wind. They never hired that position. And so she
That
had
was
to
for
do,
budget reasons.
yeah, but she what there was she worked for all mines, minerals, and that too. So as a deputy director. So I don't think we want to we can push for this if you want. I do not think we should put in Hampton Roads because I think that Richmond is reasonable. It's only an hour and a half. Jonica?
Yes, sorry, I think this is a mistake on my end. As far as I remember from the meeting last time, there was a discussion around this and we decided to remove this. Again, going back from
That's
my
what I
memory,
recall.
Yeah.
right.
I had
And
marked out deputy director, so I thought the same. Yeah, exactly.
That is
I guess I
Yeah.
missed this.
then Will those kind of change in his mind, saying that the next administration might want it. Really, this isn't like codifying an option for the director. It's not saying that a deputy director shall be appointed. It is giving the director the option of appointing a deputy director, and it's codifying it. That's all.
Yeah, and I will say realistically, our agency's small, so we'll probably have a one appointed position, which is the director, and then a deputy director. And that deputy director probably is going to have to do more than just offshore wind. So realistically, you're kind of hamstringing if you have a directive, it might hamstring the next governor on
I think I don't think that part, I think they'd strike it out anyway, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably not, if we really want the other things, it's maybe make it simple and not put it in there. Because to Vince's point, they appointed Jennifer and it wasn't in there.
Yeah, and we'll have a deputy, and I'm sure renewable energy is going to be a focus. So I'm not sure that it's a major issue. But
I tell you what we can do when we start talking to whoever we get to support this, we can bring it up that we thought about putting it in there. And if they want to add it in, then that's I get your point about it, Kathy, which to codify. I get that.
And I'm non-appointed, so I'll be left behind dealing with some of this as the state energy office director. But I do think taking this out is probably the right move, and then that gives everybody flexibility, and which they have anyway. So,
Chris and Will, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm okay taking it out. I mean,
Okay.
it's going to be at their discretion.
Okay.
Especially if you get all the other changes. It's like
and
you can have this
Jonica,
if we get all our other changes.
Yeah, Jonica just pointed out that also does have an impact by codifying it. It has a budget impact, and then therefore it may be problematic.
Quickest way to kill a bill.
Yep, make it have a budget impact. Which by
if Larry
changing
has to write a FIS on it, it's going to be doomed. So yeah.
Which we already did by changing may to shall in regard to reasonable expense reimbursement.
Yeah.
So let's maybe get that one and let them hopefully go in a point. We can always come back to that another time. Okay, so if is there any opposition to leaving this in? Or anyone who, I didn't say that right. Is there anyone who really wants to leave this in that we need to keep discussing it? Are we all in agreement to move it on or to eliminate it? Okay.
I'd still like to see it, but it's okay with me if you delete it.
Thank you,
Just add
Jeff.
another thing. You talk about a budget impact. How about with this new administration, we get a detailed budget that is used for VOWDA, and it's not just lumped under energy.
Baby steps, Joe. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Noted. Is that the politically correct way to go and do that one? Okay. All right. Next was down.
Just clarifying, so we
Sure.
need to remove
Eliminate,
the
yes.
sentence, the
Delete.
deputy director shall be located in the
Yes.
Hampton Roads, and
All of that
everything
can-
else remains the same.
Everything you have, that can all be deleted. Yes. We added that.
So the whole yellow part is deleted?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Beautiful. So basically we've left it as is. And then B, the Division of Offshore Wind. So
Is this even worth B? I mean, that's the assumption that it exists, right? The Division of Offshore Wind, which
and it's
again,
supposed to in the
DOE's
Clean Economy Act.
So
Currently
just leave it
says-
until the Clean Economy
Yeah.
Act changes. I get, you know, like
Yeah.
just leave it
Yeah.
static.
Currently B just says the division shall serve as the staff to the authority, I think, is what the original is.
Okay.
Well, there
And
is
it-
statutorily a division of offshore wind.
Vince, can you chime in on this, please?
I'm going to invoke, pull my phone a friend. Larry, do you have any thoughts on that? B.
Oh, now my understand, I'd have to look at this again. I suspect that where it says division in the existing text, it's referring to the division of
Yes.
energy within the Department of
Mhm.
Energy. And I think it's reasonable to change that to Division of Offshore Wind. I mean, that is an entity that exists. You know, it's partially staffed by Jonica. I guess Vince is really
It's really under my
duplicates as
division.
director. Yeah, so it exists now. I think that change can be
Yes.
enacted because we'll still have the personnel to administer that
So
or
if
provide
you
the administrative support.
want to make sure I'm hearing you correct, Larry. So the division, you think it's kosher to go and do the Division of Offshore Wind shall serve as staff to the authority?
Yes, it's part of the agency, and,
Okay,
and
okay.
realistically, nothing would change. You'd still be working with Jonica, Ken,
Beautiful.
Vince.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
if you just like objectively right now, I would be
Yeah.
director
Okay.
of offshore wind, division director of offshore wind and state energy
Great.
office. So
Awesome.
either way, my team will staff it. How about that?
Okay, let's
So-
then let's go ahead with these changes. Okay, sounds good. Just to clarifying it. The annual report, we had a suggestion there, but I think we've decided to leave it just as is. And then the next place I had with markings was under operations, and I have it struck out that we didn't make any changes there. It's the 1811.
I'll get rid of this.
Just the comment, not changing. No. Go back. It was just, oh. I'm looking at Kathy's comment from last time. I think we leave it the same.
I believe this was struck off completely from the last
Completely?
discussion.
Okay,
Yeah, because there's
That's how I've marked
questions,
it.
were questions
Okay.
about even how this is operate, like, I don't
Oh,
know that
that's
there's
right.
exact clarity on who was,
And there was also the Chesapeake Lighthouse has been sold to, I don't know who. So yes, you're right.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be struck. I had only marked out the yellow, not the whole thing. My bad. Okay. Under public-private partnerships, I think we left, this is where the next amount of changes have come. I have that we got rid of C completely, so yes, we did. Okay. And then B, the authority may set up for the support of offshore wind. And then we struck out the overwhelming majority of it otherwise. Okay. And then the authority and the developer and other entities. Cost of the upgrade, the developer and other entities in coordination with, okay. And then we got rid of C. I think all those changes that we did last time have been accomplished. Yep,
I'm gonna
and we,
accept all of them.
yes. Okay. I think we left everything the same. Are we? Guys, I really don't, I don't remember what happened in federal grants. She has a lot stricken out here and I didn't strike anything out on my notes.
This was actually stricken out in the meeting prior to the last meeting. So in the June meeting. I'm not sure if we went back to this section in the last meeting.
Will, can you give insight to that?
I have none.
Okay. The authority on behalf of the Commonwealth may apply to the U.S. Department of Energy for federal loan guarantee. Can we? I mean, would we?
Let's think,
I don't
would
think
we?
the-
I feel like this DOE department, you know, it wouldn't be the authority, but it would be the
Right.
department staff. And
Right,
we would,
yeah.
So that's why we struck it.
There, and
Yeah, I think we would typically be the eligible, you know, prime contractor most likely.
Okay.
So maybe that's
So-
why.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we just, so we would just get rid of 18, 13 altogether, which is now 12 because of adjusting.
And I think we were looking at getting some type of direction or a desire from the Department of Energy, because a lot of times, you know, one entity would like to use another entity to do that kind of work. And would they still appreciate that that the authority has this kind of tool to use rather than the department themselves? And I think the answer ended up being no, that department would just do it themselves and not use the authority. Sometimes authorities are used, you know, kind of do that like the Virginia Beach Development Authority.
Right, which
And-
we are not.
Right, but it is to look at it as a model to, you know, as how it can be used. It can be used that way, but I think in this case right now, the department would not want to use this tool through the authority to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary, and we have, but you know, more staff to help implement it. And we chase every. I mean, part of the Youngkin directive was go after every federal dollar we can for Virginia. So we chase every offshore wind dollar that'll come available. We don't anticipate many coming available for the next 3 years, but you know, if there are opportunities, we'll be chasing it. And if you guys see something you want us to work with, then you can talk to our staff, and we'll work on it. So I don't
Awesome.
think it really is necessary to be there.
Okay. All right, then we'll go ahead and strike that. I'm having major computer glitches right now. I don't know if you guys, my screen is going wonky. But let's see what else we have left. So I guess what we need to do now is just simply for, with all of these changes that we've made, to go and approve that the next step is we've accepting what were the changes we made, and now we need to go and put it forward to legislative services for them to go and create this into a bill as we search for the person who will, to take it forward.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Okay. Oh my goodness. You guys hear that? I have Microsoft Teams saying I want to start a new conversation and I don't, and it won't let me turn it off. Okay, so I will do the best I can. Okay, so next on the agenda, we've hit legislation. Jonica, you were going to look and see if there was anything glaring right now that has popped up as a possible items.
Right.
Bill submissions. Have you been able to do that? I mean, they're not all due till the January 23rd or 22nd, I think it is, when we know really what all the bills are.
Yes. The only bill, the offshore wind bill that I've come across is the Workforce Program and Fund that was there in the last General Assembly. It has been reintroduced
Right.
under SB 25 by Patron Foy. And it is exactly the same in terms of language as it passed both the houses, but then was vetoed by the governor. So
Okay.
Yeah, and that's
who
the
did-
only one we've seen, Ashley. I mean, as
Okay,
we're
good.
starting to go through and that's the only offshore wind bill I've seen so far.
And what number did you say it has been given a number, or who did you say it was put in by?
it's
It's
SB 25.
Yeah, SB 25 and Carol Foy is
Okay,
the patron.
but that's the same as last year with Michael okay.
Yep.
Delegate Fagans. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, here is for the next step in regard to planning for the next meeting. So if we know that all the bills are, if they're all to be in by the 23rd of January, then my suggestion is that when we look for upcoming meetings, if everyone has their calendar, the opportunity, so if you look it's a Friday is the 23rd of January. And so the question becomes is, can we meet the next week to be able to go? Because crossover is around the 10th or the 12th, I think. So that would give us a limited amount of time if there is something that we feel like we want to go and reach out, respond, or send a recommendation as an authority. So we want to know any bills that are there. So could we meet either the last week of January or the first week of February? How are you all feeling about that?
I think
I
it's,
can do Wednesday the 28th, and I can also do February the 4th.
All right, we have 2 dates proposed. Is there any, I'm good with those dates, to be very honest. So is there
The
any
fourth
other?
doesn't work for me. I have a TPO conflict. So, but the 20, Will, does that cause any stress to you, or does it make your schedule more efficient with the next day being Maritime Day, the 29th of
Oh, then
January?
Yeah, so the 28th, I mean, that's fine with me. I mean, depending on where it is. I mean, I'm going to be driving up to Richmond on the 28th anyway.
let's just do it in Richmond.
Well, I'm doing the
Richmond.
PM after
Okay.
1 o'clock.
so one thing that is that Wednesday, the 28th, is the ODU economic forecast. Actually, and I'll be there for that if I'm not on company travel. So I won't be able to make that one.
Okay.
If it's in the afternoon, okay. Joe and Doug, are you guys available on the 28th of January?
Yes, I am.
Yes, for me.
Okay. Eileen should, hopefully you'll be reappointed. Will you be available on the 28th?
Yes.
Okay. Have I missed anyone else? Oh, Brian is not on. That's who we're missing. Okay. All right. So, and what time did you say we need to do it at, Chris?
I say 2 p.m. I mean, I think 1:30 would work, but maybe 2 to 3:30, or
Okay.
maybe 1:30. I mean, here's the trick, or the challenge is just going to be if folks going to come in. I respect the, being that Doug and Joe come from the Northern Virginia section of the Commonwealth. There's obviously.
Well, could it be held at the DOE office and
That's what I was gonna
just
ask.
a virtual component? Because then,
That'd be great.
Doug or Joe, whomever could join virtually. And then if we're at the DOE office, I mean, I'm going to be downtown.
As
Yeah.
will I.
Well,
Yeah,
I'd like to be there in
we should
person.
be able
I
to
just,
host it.
coming in from Northern Virginia, you always worry about traffic. So could the earlier in the day would be a little bit better?
Well, but
Um,
also we can do it virtually.
Yeah. Doug,
But
you can
that's
drive in
just-
earlier and just hang out in Richmond.
No, it's going back, the
Oh,
going back
gotcha.
part.
Gotcha. You can spend
Maybe
the
I want
night.
to go back during rush hour.
Okay.
Doug,
Okay.
maybe we can hire a helicopter.
There you go. So Vince, do you think we could meet at the DOE? That would be great because then hopefully
Yeah.
we could actually start speaking with the new administration.
We may have our remodeled office conference room set up by then, but if not, we'll meet in the Washington building on one of DGS's nice conference rooms. So yes, we should be able to host.
Okay,
So Jonica, you'll have to make sure that we have a conference room, but yeah, we should be able to do that.
that sounds fantastic. Okay, so the 28th of,
Sorry,
who's
one quick
talking?
question. That's
Yes.
me. For virtually attending the meeting that's in Richmond, does the 60 miles thing still apply? Or I'm just trying to clarify that in advance so that we don't have a
Yeah, so
confusion.
Doug and Joe, Woodbridge, are your homes at least 60 miles away from Richmond?
Yeah.
Okay,
So that gives you options.
yep. Thank you,
And
John.
good news is our office is close to, the General Assembly and all the action. So if you have other business, even if it's bad weather, you can walk through the tunnel that goes through the Capitol. So, all kinds of benefits of being close at that time of year. So,
Okay. All right. Well, the next meeting will be Wednesday, January 28th, 2 to 3:30. DOE is setting up a conference room. We hope it's in their new building. If not, we have a secondary option. And the other, what was the, I guess that's it for as far as that goes. Just that it has we will have virtual options that way.
it'll be in the Washington
Oh.
building regardless. So it is whether it be on our floor or DGS, we'll let you know.
And we hope to get to meet some of the new staff, hopefully
Yeah,
by
we
then.
can do a tour and meet staff, regardless, Jonica, if you want to like incorporate that in the agenda. Just so, because we've got a lot of great, young, awesome staff that you should meet
That'd be good.
anyway. So
That's a great idea. I like that, Vince. And then the other thing we want is by then, as soon as you can, because all the bills are on the 23rd, to have a matrix of anything that impacts us in regard to supply chain, all the things that could impact offshore wind specifically.
actually, I'll give you one quick update. I've reached out to DOE, haven't heard anything. We had that TSED energy workforce that we got notified that we were conditionally awarded. He's never said anything about it. It's not on a termination list yet. But I am continuing to reach out periodically saying we would like this award because Hampton Roads Workforce Council would be doing a lot of the implementation. And it's energy job focused, but obviously offshore wind component.
Yeah.
So I'll keep you posted if we have anything develop on that, but not terminated yet. So hopefully eventually we'll see it.
Okay, good. Well, hopefully, yeah. So let's make sure that's on the agenda to cover in January as well. See where we're at with that.
That can be
also
part of you can do agency updates in January and we'll try to cover that.
That's a great idea. Good. Okay. That sounds good. Okay. Are there any other business closing or by the board members? Any comments? Kathy?
Thank you. I just had a quickie. I was able to meet the president of Virginia Wesleyan University last week. And it was in connection with a discussion with Max Bartholomew and Johnny Larson that Virginia Wesleyan has committed to being powered 100% by offshore wind. So I thought it'd be interesting for us because for a while we were, Howard's big objective was to help find off takers. So I thought it might be interesting for us as a board to hear from an off taker, to hear about why they decided to choose 100% offshore wind and what their energy needs are. I just thought it'd be kind of informative. And if we wanted to invite him to speak to us of why they made those choices, they made that commitment to be 100% offshore wind, not just clean energy, but offshore wind by the end of 2026. So that's kind of some pressure on Dominion, even though it's just from Virginia Wesleyan University. But anyway, is that something that we want to do and invite the president, Scott Miller, to address us and to share his commitments and needs and maybe look at other institutional organizations in Virginia for the same kind of thing.
You know what? I think that's a great idea, Kathy, and it doesn't have to be Virginia Wesleyan specific, but I think it would be fun. Let me talk to John Larson and ask him if that's something that he could help coordinate with that, because I don't know that we need another CVOW update, but it'll be nice to have one, but that might be interesting for him to bring a panel or a group of people to discuss that as well.
Ashley, I
couple
will
of thoughts.
say on
Yeah,
just
Chris.
to that, what was brought up by Kathy, but then in general CVAL, I mean, I do think in January, an update would be nice for the VOWDA
definitely.
board sense of just the level of activity that's taking place with the project as a whole and the Charybdis and whatnot. So
For sure.
Yeah.
And
Well,
and
because
interest-
Dominion is talking about bringing online and starting to bring
Exactly.
online in March next year. So
right.
this is
That-
right around the
that'll be a good
corner.
update. That'll be the fun update. And there's a lot of discussion and talk, I mean, I think, I don't know this for sure, but I keep hearing that CVOW will be the largest energy producer that for all of Dominion. So we can ask that question specifically. And I think when that happens, to Eileen's point, when the switch is flipped and going, we're going to have a whole different, very possible the perceptions could be on offshore wind could change significantly. So the question then is, what does we do as an authority to put that awareness out there? What does the Department of Energy do to put that out there? So I think it's a lot of opportunity for the next two projects to come along to go and point out all the positives of CVOW specifically when it goes online. So I'll talk to John. Kathy, that's a great suggestion. Okay, any other comments from the
One follow-on, sorry.
Oh,
One
sure.
follow-on is if we can get continual updates on the bill that we're proposing, and when it's written and when we get the sponsors, and if there's any need from any board member to assist with that,
Yes.
we need an ongoing update on that effort.
Yep. Jonica.
Yes, just wanted to, along the same lines, ask, so we have updated all the code edits. Is there a requirement for me to send it across the board members on an email so that everyone has a copy of it? And then what are the next steps, at least from my end?
Yeah, no, we approved it read it to go to legislative services. So at this point, staff needs to go and send it and have it go to legislative services to go and put it in the format of a bill.
We
And
may
in the
want to
mean-
pay attention to some of the data center bills because they've been talking about having as much clean energy in those bills as possible, or
Yeah,
required clean energy elements of it.
yep. Well, yeah. Doug,
There's your off takers.
exactly.
Everybody's off takers. So.
So Donica,
Mm-hmm.
do you need any points of contact at the Department of Legislative Services, or do you know where to send it for that?
Larry should be able to help make sure Jonica, knows who to get to. But
Okay.
right, Larry, we
But
good.
And
for next,
Ashley, you may want to have a conversation with whoever it's going to be on that staff, so they have a full understanding of our why we're asking for it and
Yep.
and how we want it written in the bill, and
Okay.
then what needs to be done from any of us as far as getting that sponsorship.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say let Larry weigh in real quick because we may have a different process.
Okay.
I think it would be incumbent on the patron to make that submission. So I think you would find your patron and then they would work with legislative services.
Yeah,
Okay.
not staff. Okay.
Okay. All right.
right. So
So-
we agreed, Michael. And so do we have our suggestion on the Senate side who we should reach out to? Will, would you have or Chris, would either one of you want to chime in on that one?
Somebody
to think
chimed
about it.
in with Rouse in the chat.
Yeah, Eileen
Oh,
had a
I'm
good
sorry. I
point
can't
there.
see the
No,
chat anymore. I literally can't see anything. I'm talking to a blank screen. So, you
Doug,
think
do you have a
Aaron
comment?
Rouse?
Doug?
Yeah, just a logistical question. I assume that since we went virtual this meeting, that if there's bad weather, we have to pick another date. If there's bad weather on the 28th. So is the fallback the following week if there's a weather related issue?
Okay, well, that's a good question. Right now, we're trying to decide what senator we want to
Right.
go and put this one through. And who was the one, you and I talked about this, Doug. Who is the person from up your way that was very involved with the Clean Economy Act?
Marston?
Morriston.
Marston? Is it Senator Marston?
Well, yeah, and I think we should definitely pick someone who's on the committee that this bill is going to go through. I mean, so we need to pull up
Right.
the appropriate, committee and just look at that list.
Yeah.
And
So
we
if it's
did
okay
that
with you
last meeting.
guys, I'm sorry, Kathy.
We did that last meeting and came up with a few names and
I remember Morrison was the one we talked about. Yeah. So if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to ask Will to help me with this. Oh, here, I've got the list right here. We talked about Terry Kilgore, Michael Figgins, Michael Weber, Joe McNamara. I found my list. So those are the ones we'll reach out to. Marston, even Don Scott, because Portsmouth is doing so much. So with y'all's permission, I'm going to ask if will tag on that with me, and we'll do the outreach for that, if that's okay, if Will accepts my request.
I'll think about it.
Oh, come on, man. I'll buy you a beer. Okay.
That's what your vice chair, he can help out with that. We'll figure it
Yeah.
out. We'll figure it out.
Okay. And even
We can
Alfonso
figure it out.
Lopez was the other ones we had written down.
Yeah, because I mean, my comment really here for the sake of everybody here is I feel like the appropriate method is that, this committee takes what we have done, this marked up
Mhm.
language. The chair delivers it to either finds a patron and says, this is
Mhm.
what we want. But at the same time, it is incumbent upon the Department of Energy staff, the four fantastic people we have on the call here, to execute this. And
Right.
it's not like us running around. It's
Right.
it's you all carrying this through and making sure that it gets done. So just for everybody's benefit.
Larry, sound good to you? Oh, Larry's
Larry is
had
remaining
Larry
silent.
jumped. Okay.
I will
That's okay.
point out, we are not carrying forward bills under
Right.
Governor Youngkin at this point. So that's
Right.
why he had made the suggestion that get the patron to
Yep.
sponsor it. We track all bills and we would track this one just like we would any other. But you need to have it come through your patron. And that was the idea is we
But
would
the-
not, as an agency, sponsor the bill, but you
No, no.
as an authority would find a sponsor for the bill. I think that's how it gets passed, right?
I agree. I agree. I think what I took from what Will's saying is for the support as far as the writing and anything else that needs to be done.
Well, also
The
just ensuring that
resources.
and ensuring
Follow
as the
up.
DOE staff that we're housed under is just to kind of make sure this is going along, right?
Yeah.
And I totally understand, not technically submitting it, and we'll get the patron to do that, but helping shepherd and make sure that this is technically going through, since I know you guys deal with a ton of other DOE related legislation.
Yeah, I mean,
as
Larry
is.
and his policy team will track it all the way through
Right,
and we'll
okay.
continue to follow it. So,
Okay, good guys. Okay, this is good stuff. Chris and I will work on this as far as talking to the patrons. I'll reach out to the patrons. I know who I'm gonna call. So, but I'll confirm it with my vice chair since Will so nicely volunteered him. Okay,
Thank you,
do we
Will.
have any public? Do we have any public on? I forgot to, I missed the first few minutes. Chris, did we have any public attending?
I think Mr. Davis, Michael
do.
Davis joined us, and I don't know if you
Okay.
had any public
Mr.
comment.
Davis, do you have any comments?
He had mentioned in the text in the chat that he was driving.
Okay, gotcha. I can't read anything right now.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you, Will. Okay, if there is no public comment, then action items are moving the annual report forward, which is going to be sent. Getting the what we've just discussed for the code changes all mocked up and to you guys so you see it, but then so that I can take it to the patrons. I'll take care of that in the next week. And then getting it over to legislative services through those patrons if they're willing to do that. And that our next and tracking will be happening as bills for our next meeting on the 28th, that the DOE staff will go and have a good list for us ahead of time. If we can get it Monday, at least 24 hours in advance, so we can at least read them, that would be great. I understand with the 23rd being the date, then it's a weekend, and then we're meeting the next week. But if we could at least have it on Tuesday so that we have the morning of the 28th to read it, that would be great. Jonica and Ken, please. And Larry, probably. And thank you. All right, if there's no other items, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any opposition to adjourning? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all and have a very happy holiday season.
Happy holidays,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.
Good job, Ashley. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jonica.
Holidays. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.